trying to see what's happening. Let's see, with the title, I'm trying to see if it'll get any views. Interesting to see if it gets views because of the title. You never know. These days, I see there's a lot of manipulation of social media, the control of how many people, who's watching your post, keep it up or down, whatever, yeah. It's, not natural algorithms. Anyway. So this is actually what I wanted to ask everybody. Hello. Because it's interesting. Those of you that have been on this platform a long time, like this one, or some people are very long. I started here in 2021. I was guided onto this platform to share spiritual guidance. Who knows, whatever. As I say, even the name of what you called it was just all downloads. So you were guided on here. But, as I say, it's changed. For those of us that have been here a long time will know very clearly to see the changes on here, how it's changed and how the algorithms have definitely changed. We used to have natural algorithms on here, and it was very much a people's platform. So the only people that were on TikTok were people. It was so bizarre. It was the most unusual. It really was social media. That was the name. It was social media. How it was named is exactly what it was. It was so strange. Nothing really was anything like this, because when you came on here, there were only people. There were no businesses, there were no news, there were no for sale things. It was just Joe Soap and Mary Ann and I mean, you can't even begin to describe it. Everybody was making their own content about anything. And literally, like them eating their food, playing games together, talking, just dancing, it was bizarre. It was the first time I think humanity got to see other people. Because so far, all media has always been, news or formal in your suits, and this is how it was. You were told something. But this really was the first platform for people, and you weren't used to it. It was really bizarre if you were on here, and it was amazing. It was like so fascinating scrolling through TikTok. It was like, what the hell? It was everybody from the top to the bottom to some real interesting characters, let's say. They were really interesting people on here that you would never meet in real life, and they were like, all right, okay, you got to see, like, wow, just the diversity, everybody, of humanity and all the strange people out there and the strange things that interest them, and some things you just shook your head. It was really fascinating. And then it took off so much that I'm just going to give you some back history now, and I really like people's feedback on this to see how it's going in your country, because the algorithms are very much not yours anymore, or what you want to see. The For You page is, you are pushed content now, and your keywords, your preferences, whatever you want, do not get respected, or that's it. You just don't have a choice about what you want to see. And even Google, I must take my hat on to them, is pretty much a natural algorithm, because whatever you tend to watch on Google, on YouTube, sorry, I'm not young at this one in the mouth. So whatever I watch on YouTube, I'll notice, especially content, because anything I follow, and people, like all the alerts are basically now at the moment is non-dual content, and that's really what I get, a non-dual, only things that I'm interested in and that I'm following, that I watch. And every now and then I might dabble in some local, who knows, it pops up on my feed, some political speech, with this whole changes, anything, I just have a quick listen and see, whatever they're saying. But it's seldom. And then you're like, no, okay, same old politics. And you just scroll on. And then you'll see, it will pop up one or two offering you the next few days. It'll pop up and see if you're interested in listening to that politician again or not, and you're not, so you just ignore it and it disappears. Now that's natural algorithms. It's following what you like to watch. Oh, let's see if we give you some more. It's not manipulated and forced and trying to. There's no manipulation and control going on there. Not a good way. Put it that way. So that's right. But what I discovered here is, any of you that have been on here, I don't know how it's going in your country. So I really would like some feedback. And I made a few videos about this. So this content was mainly light workers, star seeds. It became the most light. It really was a lighthouse. It was a platform for spreading light, awakening, meditation. I mean, Joe Dispenza, because that's what I watched. That's all I saw. So it was a very positive box that you were in, and the content was very positive, and that's all you saw, and the people you followed, and the For You page represented what you liked. Literally what I kept seeing was more. I got more of that. It was like, oh great, new light workers, new this, or nature. But I've got I get 15 keywords, and it's pretty much non-duality, spiritual, nature, I know, I can't do, I think maybe animated or something, or food. That's about it. Anyway, and with the threats and intimidation that came from America on TikTok, it started changing. And that's what I mentioned. It became bizarre. When they threatened TikTok, then it became more and more darker. The content became conspiracy, much darker, denser, negative, fear-based, and then it started getting more and more. But just before the elections, it really ramped up. And what you also noticed is that it's really targeting your country. Whereas before, TikTok showed you videos, there wasn't like boundaries, like country borders. You saw, videos from all over English-speaking countries and people sharing, as I said, it was just people on here. And then they started trying to push you. Your For You page did not become anything that you've selected you like to watch wasn't noticed. Your preferences just went out the bloody window and your content disappeared. And as I mentioned to you guys a while ago, a few months ago, I brought it up very clearly when this started happening. When I looked into long ago who the shareholders were, because the company's registered in each country under ByteDance, So you noticed that. And it was okay, and then you looked at the shareholders and you think, what's going on here? But as the elections come up in our countries, you're very much force-fed whatever they want you to see, but it's also targeting. So the content here is especially targeted to you. It's manipulated. It's not positive. Let's just say what experience here I'm asking you. It's content that's targeted at you. It's manipulation, threats, fear, negative content. And you can reset your For You page. You can push this thing. I looked into this. They've adopted a lot of things that Facebook has, like a activity page, activities, your activities, your watched now. They've even got watched history. See, we're gaining data on you. This never used to be on the original TikTok. The more West has taken over and control and shareholdership or whatever, the worse it's got. So we've now got you targeted with stuff, and a lot of stuff that you do not want to see. You can block. I blocked a lot of accounts, and no matter how many times I blocked them, they would appear under different. So the algorithms are definitely not are being manipulated, not at all respecting what you want to see, like to see, watch, preferences, content, keywords, and nothing. It's here's shopping or here's political news. Everything actually that you don't is so bizarre that eventually you got so frustrated and you stopped coming on here because you were being fed. You were never finding. Lightworkers vanished. I think it started last year when the first really threat of banning it. Any lightworker spiritual content basically disappeared on my For You page. So I wasn't finding any more new content, from lightworkers, spiritual, especially non-dual. Which is the one thing I wanted to see. You weren't finding these people. And then you could go and reset. And next minute I would be fed absolute rubbish. Completely. You complain it's irrelevant and not what you wanted. Useless and irrelevant content, right? And you refresh it. And you come back and next minute I'm getting content from parts of the world you don't even understand the language. Nothing you want to see. So you go off and you give it a day and you come back. It's the most bizarre thing. It's not set. And then you start seeing stuff you don't want to get. And you come on and I'm just trying to see. And then please tell me what you're experiencing in your country's people and the countries you're from. So next minute I'd come on, and next minute I'm force-fed news. I mean, nothing everyone knows about the news. They haven't learned yet. They're still selling bad news first. They still think this is what humans want, forgetting that the humans have evolved, upgraded in their consciousness and changing. It's not a negative bias, actually. That's their projection. So nobody wants to watch the news or any media. I don't even own a TV for that exact reason. It's been 14 years. I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch TV. I don't have a TV, any of these things, for a reason. You don't want to see. You got fed up with it. It's not positive programming, right? So you started seeing, like, I would go, it's bizarre. I'd go on and I'm being fed now news, like news, and weather and drama and, all the main news outlets kind of people, so-called other outlets. I don't even know who they are. Everyone's got a news outlet, news something now, whatever. So you were fed all this nonsense and drama and a plane crash. It's all negative stuff. So you're like, no thanks. Or it's true crime. It's crimes and lawyers. I mean, absolute commercial, that you don't want to see. So like, okay, so then you would like give it. And the next day I'd be on and, you thought you hit the jackpot. You'd give it a few days and you come on again and, oh my gosh, you got content again, like animate. I'd rather watch kids animated. That's just me personally, because it's positive. So I was like, oh, nice, I've got all these kids animated things. And I had a day or so of really good things. I was like, oh, thank you. They restored the algorithms. No, Or when the elections popped up, you were bombarded with, I don't know how many. I saw Elon Musk accounts. They weren't even under his name. I can't even count the amount of Elon Musk before the British and American elections. Elon Musk was everywhere. Trump had, I don't know how many pages, the Reform Party, Brexit, all those, the whole thing. It was just it was flooded. And then it like disappears, like poof. And then you get fed all this and then it's that. It's just absolutely bizarre. And what I found really now disturbing is that because you can't choose what you want to watch, eventually I just thought, oh, well, I won't come on. And then you leave it for a few days and they tend to behave themselves for a bit. I think maybe because they don't want, because you just won't, people will just leave it then. So you just think, well, it's not worth scrolling, because an hour or two of scrolling and like you might see something of interest, because it's not what you want to watch, but at least it's sort of interesting. But I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any news. I don't care what it's about. Any of the negativity or the so-called, world or news or drama or crime or real life, whatever, real life dramas and crime stories. I'm not interested. Even the people I blocked, you can't avoid them. So you'd block accounts of things that were very dense, feeding you very negative and dense stories and bullshit and currents. But I'd block those people. But they have so many accounts, you'd think now, okay, the algorithms now knows you don't want to watch these people or this channel, this content. No, I would see it again, but they'd appear under some other name. So next minute I'm being fed this other guy's, it's like these Joe Rogan type things. Not Joe Rogan, but someone else anyway. I'm just giving examples. So you would like, this stuff would pop up, not your thing. Energy is very dense, very... It's pushing fear and rubbish, and as you know, you create your own reality, so no thanks. And you would block it, thinking, okay, AI is going to say, no, I don't want to, watch that. I don't really want to hear what he's going to say. Nope. Another account of his appears, someone else has cloned it now, and the same guy's talk show is up. And then another account of this guy. I don't know how many accounts you can block of these people. So someone is cloning and just pushing these things out there. And then you would be like, okay, forgive it for a day. And then you'd come on, oh my gosh. So I don't know about you guys. I see all that it's quietened down now since this last threat to completely ban it. So all of those content is like, poof, disappeared again. Trump's almost disappeared, and all that kind of off here. And it's all gone. It's like completely bizarre. It swings from one extreme to the other. Or like one day you come on and it's just the same thing. Like today, all of a sudden, it's all about health insurances. I don't know. But I tell you what disturbed me is that when this whole threatening thing started, as and the content went really south, and it's boxing you, echo chambers. You put in an echo chamber, they know which country you are, and they're targeting you with content from your country, or politically, or trying to trigger you, or trying to there's a lot of really not, it's not pleasant games going on here with people and the content that you're being fed on here at all. So who's ever got it is on a high level and using some of the best technology to fiddle with the algorithms on here and target people. They're targeting you individually, what they want you to see, hear, not see, threaten, intimidate, trigger, It's definitely very obvious. So it's not being used at all in a very positive thing, especially if you understand how reality actually works. That's why you just you scroll and scroll. But as I noticed, it's taken after when it started being, they've got like huge shares in it. Some American companies got big shares in TikTok now, America. So pretty much they seem to control even, it's whatever happens there seems to be affected in England. So I found, because I realized, okay, they've changed so much. And I see now they want you can add your Facebook contacts and this and that, and they're all trying to link everything. Facebook seems to be linked up with Facebook and Instagram. So, whatever, if you've got any, they try and link all these things. You're not interested because you're not on there for any of that sort of thing anyway. But that's just personally here. So I go on and I see they've got activity now, a new thing when they started changing this whole TikTok, the original TikTok. It's now got an activity center like TikTok, like Facebook has. And you can go on there and lo and behold, there's something called a watched history. How I discovered this is that there was some kiddies cartoon, like some animated thing that was really so cute, and I wanted to send it to someone. And I'm sure I hit the like, because they try and say, so you're not doing it. You like the content that you like, that you want to see purposely. You like it and you save it, and that's all you were watching anyway. And your preferences are clearly marked that this is what I want to see. None of it happens. None of what you want to see, none of what you like. Your preferences just are ignored. And, as I say, it's trying to influence everyone knows it. But if you're aware of the gaslighting and these type of things, if you can see gaslighting and stuff like this, you are aware of it. So it just goes over. You watch the scroll and you don't take it on board. So you scroll, eventually get bored, and think, okay, well, you're not going to find anything nice tonight to switch off. Or sometimes you scroll out of interest to see what's happening out there, so-called news and, all over the world, whatever. As I say, it's like a random, who knows these days, it's like, it seems to be all gone quiet now with the threat of the ban being imminent. They kind of quieten down their rhetoric now, and they anyway, it's obvious to see what's going on. So I go and I'm now trying to find this because I like this. It was some animated thing. It was so sweet, and I wanted to send it to someone. So anyway, I looked under there. When you like something, there's a page you can look at the heart, under hearts, things you've liked. So I looked under there and I couldn't find the thing, and I was a bit puzzled. And I thought, I'm sure I liked it. So I go to the favorites and I looked under. I couldn't find the thing, and that's when I looked down this activity thing, because I know you can do that with Facebook. And I thought, okay, I'll look at my activities. I must be there. A lot of videos also have been removed. So there's a lot of content that they don't want. It's very controlled and manipulated now. I don't think it's foreign, because foreign, it's just targeted at you and your country. It's very much targeted at you. And the content is it's not foreign. So I go on to this watched history, and that's when I notice a disturbing, let's say, fact. Is that nobody, as I say, your For You page you don't choose what pops up on your For You page at all. And you can try as hell as you want. As I say, it used to be natural algorithms, whatever you watched, you got more of, and no. So it does not happen at all like that anymore. And so it's not at all. It's definitely not. So I go under this watched list, and that's when I thought, hang on a second, it's saying their watched history is all this crap, and you don't watch it. You don't have a choice. This is what I'm noticing. This is very disturbing, because if you scroll for your view page, you have to scroll through the content to find something that you might like in there now. Oh, maybe it's a spiritual content or some Buddhist teachings or something that you might want to listen to. So you're scrolling, and you scroll, and you scroll, and you scroll. Sometimes you're not quite sure what the video is about, so you take a second to say, oh, no, thanks, next. What it's doing now, it's saving. So everything that was on your For You page is now going to be under your watched history, even though you didn't watch it. This is troubling, you see. So it's saying because if it's saved under watch history, so you chose to watch that content. No, you sure as hell didn't. This is worrying me. Is the only thing that should be under the watch content is videos that you watched the whole way through or watched, you know what I mean? So that is very disturbing thing that you're finding now. Your watch content is basically the For You page, where you don't watch all of the stuff. Definitely not. You'd never long enough time anyway to watch all the stuff. You could scroll or not to find anything you want to see. There's one in a million, it depends on the day. That's why I say it's bizarre. You can have a day where you can now decide, oh, they're going to play along now because you're back here. You get fed up, you stay off for a week because there's nothing you want to see. It's just not. And then you come on after a week and oh my gosh, they'll feed you a little bit of nice stuff again, what you want. Oh, great, you get excited and you think, okay, great, they're going to, the algorithms have now fixed themselves again and you're going to get the content you want to see. And then, true as Bob, it'll start going again. But that is disturbing because it's showing up as a watched history when you haven't watched it. You don't have a choice on what's For You. You have to scroll through all the garbage to find something you might want to see. But all the garbage you're scrolling through is showing up that on your watched history, which shouldn't be the case. You see? So, yeah, it's very sad. It had natural algorithms, healthy algorithms. It wasn't biased towards negative. It wasn't intimidation, manipulation, conspiracies, doom, gloom, any of the, it wasn't that dark, dense kind. It never was. That's what was so nice about it. Anyway, here we are. And I don't think, as I said to people, it doesn't resonate. I do not believe it will get banned because they have too much, they use it in their, it's been useful to them and they have used it for their purposes, as you say, in elections and things it's used, so they definitely won't be banning it. They've gained too much from this platform. So I shared something there for you to be aware. If you are not aware of this on a level of, let's say, what I call it, borderline personalities, gaslighting, narcissistic, that kind of behavior where there's manipulation, coercion, control, threat, fear, intimidation. That's really what's being pushed at you. And it will trigger you. It will trigger you. See, if you're not aware of that, because they're trying to do that, they're trying to elicit fear, threat, and some of it's targeted at you, actually, quite obviously. Hi, Claire. Hi. You should know that's history. It's old games. But if you have experienced this on firsthand and you know how it plays and goes and you see it being used on people, even sometimes by actual officials, mainstream media, on government, even when you actually see that the public is being gaslit, when you recognize it because you have walked and danced those dances and you know the tactics used, so you're kind of immune to it. You can scroll on, it doesn't intimidate you anymore. You don't, you know what I mean? You don't take it on board. But it is disturbing to see these going on. Clearly you can see when people, and they're trying to manipulate or gaslight the public, or threaten it, you know what I mean? And people really are not aware. Here we are. So I don't know about your countries, but I think it'll be the same. It'll be targeted towards whatever they want to achieve and change, you or your countries or the politics, whatever. And that's so sad. So don't worry, I don't think it's going to be banned because they're using it, not in a positive light at the moment. It's being used, but it's definitely being used. So I don't see them dropping it because they can reach too many people here. It's to manipulate and control. Intimidation, manipulation, and election interfering and whatever else, and changing your perception, perspective. It's very much used for that. It's very obvious. Which is very sad. So it once was a people's platform and now is a political tool. Yeah, but anyway, that's just what's happening. And the same with that, even that, there's no, if you look at it from awareness, you don't take a emotional reaction to it. See, I saw this yesterday, I thought, okay, but that is a dangerous game to play, because they're going to, almost saying that your watch history is like your choice to watch it. No, definitely not. No. Yeah. You'll see you don't have a choice here. TikTok is really sad. YouTube, you still have natural algorithms pretty much. They'll try, but if you don't watch some of the content, it won't keep appearing in your feed at all. What appears for me is the same stuff I've been watching for years, or the last year or two, whatever. It's the same content. That shows it's, not negatively being manipulated. And they will try and hook you as well. So I see some of the content just purposely put out there to try and hook you, trigger you, set you up. So just be aware that it's being used in a malevolent way. All right. And I did mention this, and I shared one or two posts about this, and I shared one, even Alida says, and if you can understand how it goes, and you've been subject to this, you know it, because you've lived it yourself before. You see, you know how the manipulation, coercion, intimidation, gaslighting, narcissistic game plays, and this whole, all those games, you see. So anyway, I don't know about any of you. Hi Claire, you here, so let me know if what content, if you're experiencing the same thing in your countries, if you're noticing the content is all like this one day, and it's all of this stuff one day, and it's all, let me know. Okay. It's sad. It has such potential to be a force for good, as it was. I mean, it was such an uplifting platform. We were all out here. It was such good content. It was all spiritual. It was all Joe Dispenza, light workers, meditation, but it was positive. It was so full of love and unity. It really was a platform for light. It's so sad. That's what, and those of you that were aware a year or so ago, too, as you can see the huge difference in it. So let me know. Yes, has it? Yeah, or definitely, Claire. I don't know if you noticed it, but just before elections, you can clearly see the games going on big time. Yeah, big time. The content that you get pushed is very... And it's not that you like it or you follow those people. It's stuff that you don't want, but they're always trying to influence and change or persuade you. So they'll shove that stuff in your face purposely. You see? So it's targeted information, Yeah. But it just goes over. If you understand reality itself, the foundation of reality, it goes poof, because you realize, you are it. This is all appearing. It's just an appearance within you. So it's just an appearance. Poof. It has no solidity to it. It has and it cannot influence. If you know that, you don't allow it to influence you or emotionally trigger you, because then it hasn't got any power over you. Understand? You give something reality, you crystallize it by giving it that energy and power and everything. Hi. Anyway, so there we are. I very much doubt they will ban it, because they're using it. It's too beneficial for them, not in a positive way, but yes, to influence the public. In many ways, Anyway, sadly, there we are. It will change. Same with the media. You could see, as I mentioned a while ago, eventually it will sink in. This negative bias that they say humanity has. Nope. A lot of it's a projection and reflection. It actually hasn't. It actually has a positive. It used to too. It's because they believe it and they keep feeding this rubbish out there. But people actually don't. And if they see, like I did mention it a year or two ago, that they would go down because of this. If they start selling good news, and when I was young, I remember before media was really influenced in a negative way, we had newspapers. We didn't have social media, right? I'm 60, so bear with me here. We had newspapers, right? And I can remember the change in newspapers because the first front page was always very good news. It was always good news and Mrs. So-and-so, and it was quite local. The news was always quite positive and local, and it was about this one won that, and there's going to be new. So the news was always very upbeat. And I can't tell me, this is going back before the 80s, okay. So it was before the 80s. Probably started going down from there, but it was before that. And I remember very clearly, and you would have to look. It was the second page from the back, or the third was really towards the back. So the first page was always a very positive story, and it was happy stories, positive stories, bad about this happened, so and so won that, and da pictures, and then right like at the back was like obituaries. You could have like really at the back and classified little things, but really towards the back there would be like a murder or something. They really didn't advertise the bad news, even movies, and then they wonder why crime and everything is gone up. The more you spread your violence, your negativity, and your movies of violence and war, the more it perpetuates, the more you remember them. Instead of let's celebrate 80 years of peace, now let's celebrate 80 years of that war. They should stop sorry, this everyone knows it. We've been having fun here lately with it. The memories is disappearing. Not that we need it anyway. It's irrelevant because it's an illusion. There isn't such a thing as a past. So we're not mourning the memory going anyway. It's not a bad thing. We don't see it as a bad thing. You see, it's perspective. Oh my goodness. There's nothing to remember. There is no past. So let's say we're talking about in a story there's a past. What I'm trying to explain to you. This is how our newspapers would be, like really like it was like the small line at the back page, like the second back page of a murder or something had happened. People didn't read the newspapers to read shit. They read the newspapers to, yeah, oh my gosh, something good. And that's why. And as then towards the end, as it progressed, more and more the negativity grew. So they can't say negative bias was sold by the media. Wasn't a natural thing. It didn't happen before. And they put them at the front page. Now people are so used to saying, oh, the plane crash. Every news outlet can't wait to show you the worst news. They all share the worst thing. You see, you will go on and all of them will tell you about a plane crash or this. They look for the worst drama. This never used to be the case, and it's not the case. And the story about human's brain, about negative bias, is not the case actually. But it's being another story that's being sold and pushed. That was sold and pushed as well. And more it spread and became, and now we are so used to seeing the media only selling negative stories, and then they can't understand now why, but they're still buying in the same old theory that human brains have a negative bias. They do not. They do not. Humans have evolved, and so is their memories going, not that we're going to be missing them, because that's why they kept going in circles and repeating history as so the loop. So yeah, when they start now selling the positive stories, maybe we'll start watching. They get Vinci cop on. If they don't start selling positive things, good news, positive things, uplift, watch how they start picking up views and selling stuff. There we are. The positive bias is there. Humans do not have a positive bias. Their consciousness has risen. The light's risen. That's being projected by a few. So don't buy into that story. It's not the case. Okay. And I remember quite clearly from a child, and that was not what our media used to be like. Okay. You're old enough to remember that. We didn't have a negative media bias and bad drama news, and I can't wait to sell you the worst things. People are actually, even the old people are actually so sick and tired of hearing it, and they're switching off. And then but they're trying to still. There's no reflection, you see, if you're unawake. Okay. So I don't know about you guys. This is sad. Very sad. TikTok was a lovely platform and had really good positive algorithms. I mean, I saw lots of Joe Dispenza, so it was really raising the consciousness. And now they're trying to sell people that humans have negative bias, negative news, the drama, and the same push that. It's not the case. Remember, you create your reality, okay? Hi, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm a little battling. It was Christmas, so of course, you know, the diet wasn't followed. So yes, I'm battling. There's some swelling in the joints. It's sore. It's like having arthritis. Oof. So yeah, we have to get the body back to normal again. Oof. Yeah, at the moment. Yeah, tired. Yeah, the body, the insulin has obviously got quite high again because the joints, I've got swelling in the wrists. It's sore if I move them too. Fingers, you up at going to the loo quite a few times at night. Sugar, the memory, anyway, the cognitive, the energy, the sweet sore. So yes, there's definitely inflammation in the body, in the brain, and the sugar, the insulin I think is high. Because Christmas, you know, it was Christmas, so it was sweets, pudding, custard, not keto. So we got to kick ass and get back to meat and vegetables and strict keto diet because it's sore. It was very sore yesterday. It's so yeah, there's inflammation and pain and a bit, but it's whatever, you know. We didn't, as I say, make a big thing of it. We enjoyed Christmas, and there we are, you know. And we'll get back on the pony again with the diet and cut all sugar out and all carbohydrates out and any grain. The body seems to be very funny when it comes to grain. It seems to tolerate sugar like ice cream. But then if you put Christmas pudding in the mix or a biscuit in there or something, it doesn't like, it's like no grain of any kind, even a rice. Flour, wheat, quinoas, anything that looks like a grain, a carbohydrate, nah. So the body seems to be far more fussy or intolerant, whatever, to grain. That seems to really cause it more problems and inflammation. Anyway, it all builds up. So yeah, I'm all right, thank you. I'm just saying why, and I'm meditating again. A lot of meditating's going on here. Again, trying to get back into, now Christmas is over and all that sort of thing. It's sore at the moment, at least. Trying to get back into, centered meditation a lot more now again. As I said, I stopped it. Get back into the thing quite strict. Walking, the whole routine. Get up, walk every day. The weather's been funky. So to try and build my physical strength up. All of these things help, everything. The physical strength, what you eat, all affects everything, as we know. Yes, so did I. Didn't know it was grain though. I thought it was gluten, and then I thought it was this. But yeah, it's so complete. But watch out because that affects the brain. Like I found out after a year and a half of gut bloating, swelling, inflammation. I didn't know, and then I started having serious cognitive problems. So watch out because that goes to the brain. Okay. And it's the latest studies show it, and I can vouch for it because I'm watching, as I say, like now I'm really not having it's been a bit, you can see the decline in the cognitive, in the physical, in the body, you can tell your insulin, it's sore, it's swollen, you can see fingers, it's like the bones, there's inflammation, it's like almost like having gout, sore. So really watch it because it affects the brain big time. And I kept going to the doctors saying, but I don't think they just don't take it seriously. Yeah. If they do, if it doesn't come back with no celiac and things like that, they didn't even believe me when I said about the, candida or anything of this in the brain. They think you're loopy if you. They're very behind in the latest science by the looks of it. Wow. Don't listen and don't think that any of this can affect or, has anything to do with your brain. You're like, all right, bye. You know yourself because you can see, the effects. So yeah, keto definitely helps if you cut out all sugars, like everything, and carbohydrates. So you see a great improvement. Lots of parts. Anyway, so as I say, there we are. It's Christmas. We didn't stick to the strict. We let Christmas happen, like. So, yeah, the body's like, oh, that's sad. Yes, the same here, big time. Yeah. It's very sad that they followed, don't worry, they followed America's path by the looks of it. There's a few good private ones. Look up which countries they come from. There's people I follow here. There's a few doctors, I don't know, they also seem to be vanishing. So I'm saying your content, everything you want, they seem to be, So there were a few good doctors I'm following on here. Some I don't see anymore. Not much of. I'm not seeing much of their posts, so maybe some of them have been removed, but there's a few good private ones in America I'm following. They're very good. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's exactly. Because you see, they can't profit from it if they tell you that you can cure it with diet and food and things like that. There's no money. They want to now learn that and use that and manipulate it. So patent some bacteria to target that, and oh no, you've got to take this probiotic which is specially targeted for that, whatever, or make now exactly a probiotic. So you have to have, there's got to be a drug. You can't. All of it comes from nature. It's just a chemical version of what's found in nature, because you can't patent nature, you see, because it's not owned. It wasn't created by you. So they create a chemical synthetic version which is not good for you anyway. And it's, wow, anyway. It will, as I say, it will consume itself. I discussed this in my last live about it will collapse on itself, because when something is so greedy and parasitic, it will collapse, it will eat itself. It's like Rome, it collapsed from within. It corrupts itself, so don't worry, it will all come down like a house of cards. Don't worry. It's a Maya, it's an illusion, so it'll go. Remember, as the light increases, it's duality, the delusion of duality, right, where the bodies are in. So the appearances appear in duality. So the more the light increases, so will the opposite. You see, until it becomes the brain. Yeah, you see, it's been Christmas. What's the word I'm looking for? The frequency and vibration, we're going to get so far apart. So don't, as I was trying to say, don't watch and feed into the stuff that you don't want to see, which is very difficult now on TikTok, because it's like they are purposely trying to do that to you. It's like they're purposely targeting you, and trying to force, change the mind, or where you. So be very careful of this platform as far as that goes. Okay. Not healthy. Brain feeding, washing that's going on here. It is very, very good, very, very, they know what they're doing. So, understand, we're seeing the light has increased, right? It's like elastic builds back. So now we're seeing also a rise in the same amount of darkness. You see, the darkness is increasing on that level. Just don't feed it, as I'm saying. You scroll, don't be triggered by it, don't get upset. It's an appearance. So if you see it as an appearance, okay, and you just let it scroll by, it'll disappear out of your reality if you don't feed it energy and fear and negative emotional reactions, fear, anger. You see, don't react to it, which is exactly what they're trying to do in all content on you. Don't react to it. It will vanish. And that's what's going to happen in society. They talk about the timeline shift or the parallel realities, is because it's becoming so far apart from each other that they will disappear. And I've already noticed stuff falling away here, because you just have not fed it energy. It's popped up to see, try and see if it will get you hooked into its stories and drama and conspiracies or whatever, everything. But remember, you are source. Whatever you choose as truth, you see, you're putting in energy, you're crystallizing it, so it'll appear in the illusion, it appears in the Maya. But if you stop feeding it energy and giving it any food, like saying with this, the character, it disappears. And you'll find yourself as the one again, and there'll be no separate anybody. That's true, because you're feeding a separate self, the same as you are feeding the whatever they're trying to feed you. Oh my gosh, we have a new world, whatever. Everyone's trying to sell. It's a story. So join the New World Order timeline, or join this, or join. We're all going to be whatever. Anyhow, some of these have already gone. Some of these timelines, depends what you fed, that you didn't give any attention to, interest and feed, they have drifted off already. They've completely, none of that content even appears in any way, in any form, anywhere anymore. Because I didn't listen to it, you chose not to, you didn't choose it as a truth or a reality. So you just completely had no interest. When you saw it pop up, I was like, no thanks, But, and you just stopped watching or listening or, triggering or you just didn't buy into it anymore. So this is really what's happening, okay? We are seeing the rise of the opposite, you see. So the more benevolence and light and love that will rise, and it is. So it's just like any energy, it has opposites, right? Negative, positive charge. It's energy. This is an illusion. It's a whole imaginary everything, even you, this body. It's energy. But it needs the opposites in the dream. It gives it the charge or the electricity, keeps it going. So you have, that's why the duality, the illusion of duality. So there we are. That's all that's happening out there. So just don't watch it. Like I say, at least YouTube, it gives you a bit more of an option not to. Because you will see this will pop up, it'll try and feed you, this and that, whatever, and you're like, nah, thanks. Scroll, and then they'll stop. You don't click on it, you won't see it anymore. They'll realize you're not interested in watching it, and they won't show it to you. Here, you don't have that on the For You page because you have to scroll past the stuff you see. Whereas on YouTube, you don't have to. It won't start unless you stop or click on it. They can't force feed you content. That's why they won't ban this platform, because here you have to scroll through it. So you will see some of it. That's the point, to get past it in the first place. So just remember, it's an offer. That's all it is. It's an appearance. Poof. As the light has to appear, the darkness has to appear to balance it. It's just, it's a story. It's a complete illusion story anyway. And that's all that is there. But as long as you keep believing that there's a real world and real people, or that you or even anything is real, then it keeps appearing anyway, because you are crystallizing this reality like a solid, real people, real physical. You're making it a physical reality by believing it and watching it and buying into the story, you see. If you know none of it's real, it's irrelevant what happens out there, you see. That's why I say this one hasn't had a TV since 2010. No, thank you. We don't want one. And you realize you don't need one. If you realize the world is not real, nothing out there is real. It's an appearance in you. Whatever you're believing and feeding energy is appearing in you as, well, you think it's you in a body, but that's it. So then you will easily scroll through the stuff. Yes, the bodies have their own conditioning, and they will be triggered as well because they have their own triggers. Each body has a trigger and conditioning. Even this one, and it's had some triggers actually. Wow, you're amazed actually. What comes out, you're like, wow, okay. And you can do shadow work for years, and still it can pop up. You see, it's a pain, that energy. It's like, wow, it never ceases to. So sometimes the body can really react emotionally, get triggered. The other day I did, it was quite surprising. I was like, oh, okay, whoopsie. And then you don't beat on it either. You're like, okay, you know, the body, so the body experienced this energies, they still come up and surprise you. He's no randomly scrolled in anywhere. There we are. There we are. Yeah. So just understand, as the timelines separate, which is the illusion, the stories are separating. So they're all trying to win participants. You see, so who wants to go and play Doomsday? Who wants to go play New World Order? Who wants to go and play we all doomed, we annihilated, the planet's going to nuke itself, or the planet's going to destroy itself, or eco disaster, whatever. All these offers of stories, illusions are out there. Because you are an illusion. The worst one is you believing that you are real and the world's real. So then the story continues and it looks very solid and real. Just understand the darkness is offering its, you know, and when you have bought into it before, see, so when you wake up, all your shadow rises up to the surface. Your trauma, you know, everyone knows on this path, all your shadows, your trauma, your ancestry, your karma, so-called family karma, other stories, whatever surfaces, whatever game, you know, this avatar is holding on to, there we are. You have to go through all of those, right? Remember, as this one found out, no matter how much work you do, whatever reactions, which you call trauma, when you've really reacted to something emotionally in the body has in this life, right? So the body was traumatized, or the body got fear, or the body believed the New World Order, or you're going to be all poison, whatever nonsense, whatever fear. This thing is going to make you sick, and that's going to kill you. Whatever story you were sold out there that you bought into, as you rise up and work your way through it and understand what's going on, you're creating a reality. This is not blah, 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 whatever. However you are on the journey, and how far you've got on the journey, it'll come around again. You see, because you bought into it. So the body has bought into stories all its life since you were a baby. I'm a this and my mommy's that and I'm called this and I went to that school. You bought into stories about you were a child, you've been born, you had a school, which none of it's true. You don't even have a body. You are formless. You don't have a body, you've never been born. Anyway, but you bought into the story that you're a real person, you have a real life, and you've the body's been through trauma, or you bought into David Icke's story, or any conspiracy, you know, whatever was offered to you, positive, negative, whatever. It will come around again, like anything. To see now, because you've released it, say you've done shadow work, and you've released things, it will come around again to see if you've really released it, because your reaction, if you just, whatever, you see, it has no hold on you, then that frequency that you don't resonate with it anymore. So you must be aware of this is also what's happening. Everything, conspiracy, fear, delusion, Bible story, whatever, doomsday, end of the times, then, and any story that you bought into in a big way, that you really believed with energy, fear, any of those things, there we are. They can come around again. But this time when they come through and you're like just no interest, that's it. It literally disappears out of your timeline, completely disappears from your actual reality that you've seen. But still, stuff can surface. You know, this one, as I say, you're surprised sometimes you get triggered. So when the body's been through a lot of trauma, you have a lot of triggers, like physical trigger, you know, like PTSD. You have a lot of, some completely come from nowhere. You have no freaking clue. They surprise you. Like, you're like, what the heck? You completely freak. You overreact, like just have a wobbly. And even you surprise. You're like, where the hell did that come from? You know? oh, right. And now, you know, oh my gosh. It's another. It's just coming out of the, you know. There we are. The idea is to see what it is. Not to judge it. Not to judge. Just be aware, okay, love, and when you stop reacting to it in any way, it leaves you completely, you see. And the same applies to all the stories and timelines that you've been sold. the collective stories, you know what I mean? Oh, we're going to have this and that's going to happen and the new world, whatever, whatever, whatever. Depends what you believe. You're seeing they're disappearing. And this is really what's going to happen now, that we will absolutely really split off. Some already have. But it's coming past to see what you still want, what you're including in your reality, because some you're resonating on this story and some, oh, I still believe a bit of that. So literally you're creating a whole illusion, which you are. This entire reality is an illusion. But it's like, what collective story are you creating? Which version of Earth are you creating, you see? So they will come up and make a lot of noise to see if you will buy into whatever version of Earth you want to play, you see, or experience. That's it. You're not a person. You don't even have a body. The imposter is the one that says, I have a body and I am a person and I'm people pleasing. Even this body, blah, 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 is talking going on you, but there's no one. The body's doing it. There's no one. It's just a body. It's a biological entity which has got whatever, the bodies were brought up and whatever they were taught, that is what's coming out of them. But there is no one, because there's only one, and it's not in a body. It's watching all of the body, that body, this laptop thing, everything is appearing in it. There we are. And when you stop feeding the belief that there's any separate anybody, soul or anything, there's no any separate anything or anyone, the solidity of the reality starts falling away. The solidness of the reality, the light, it becomes like your astrals, it becomes transparent, translucent. It's a hollow, it's an illusion. It's like your dream. You see? That's all that's coming up now. All right. The darkness is rising to balance the light. As the light has risen, the consciousness has risen, the darkness is rising to meet that, you see. So there's an increase of light, there'll be an increase to that extent of the shadow. That's all. But it's only an appearance in you. And it's not real, it's not solid, people. There's not even anyone in that body. That body's as programmed as anything. It's just running a program that whatever was that body took on or believed or, Anyway, I'm tired now. So there we are. Just understand that's all that's appearing, okay? It's appearing in front of you as stories, as news, as blah. Same with here. It's like, okay, it's interesting because it just appears maybe in a different format. It's like, here's a reflection for you. Like I'm trying to saying why these things are appearing. This person, this body, wow, it seemed to have, really good. Yeah, picked some interesting dances, and it's had some experiences with a narcissist, malignant, psychopath and sociopath, real danced. I mean, that it's, it really played chess, that it came out alive, though, luckily it came out alive. But it went through some real, So this is interesting. So the manipulation, gaslighting, tactics, all of that stuff, a lot was experienced by the body. The body held a huge amount of trauma because it was over extended periods of time and many incidences, not just one, you see. So it took a lot of work. A lot of trauma was held in this body, and the nervous system was fused, fried, like it was like burnt out, overloaded, whatever it was. Anyway, so understand. Even like this one, what's happening with these, like now, as I say, with the media and the news, the same thing. You see, but it's not coming through as, on the media, TikTok, whatever. However it comes through into your reality, it's still coming through. You'll see gaslighting, intimidation, fear, threats, manipulation. They're trying to use, however they try and use it. So it's like a reflection, but it's just coming through media now in a different way. But because you're aware of this, you recognize the characteristics. That's intimidation, manipulation, threats, coercion, gaslighting. It doesn't how do I say, you really see it. So just like, okay, and when you know what reality is, it can't affect you. So maybe that's coming through here in a reality, so you're aware. No, next, and you're not responsive to it, you see. Because you danced that dance many times, and you get to a point now, there's only so much you can be threatened, and then eventually you just don't give a shit. Gets to a point where, okay, yeah. So there's an example, you see. These things are rising as that in a different format. That's what they do. Because it's just held by the body. And as long as there's a belief that there's still a body and people out there. Yes. Yes, it has, hasn't it? Wow. Yes. Yeah. It's sad, actually. Because you see, when you realize you can reach that many people, you can manipulate and control them, and you can change their behavior or the way they vote, you're going to see. That's why I say they won't ban it, because that's what they're trying to use it for. It has great power because it has so many people on it that you can influence, manipulate, propagandize, whatever you want to do, try anyway. And especially when you're unawake, because then you believe that person is real. It's not an appearance, they're real people, it's a real body, it's a person in there, they are. There's no they and them. That's the thing. There is no people anywhere in existence. There are bodies appearing in your mind as the one, like your dream. So there we are. So you just got to keep reminding, you see, till the program, it takes remind the self. You see, I don't know. No, British. This body used to sound like the Queen. It had a very, very good English. It was brought up to. Oh, we're going to play puzzles. So you'll have to excuse me. TikTok wants me to play a puzzle to verify that there's no bot talking. There we are. Yes, isn't it funny? It apparently does. Yes, it would be a lot of African. Yes, it had a very good accent. Spoke very good English, and it ate like, with white gloves, and it was taught how to eat all the silver, with all the settings and all the right glasses and everything. It had a very strict Victorian upbringing, but then it spent a huge amount of time in Africa, a lot of time in South Africa, and worked in many African countries. And the funny thing was, when I moved further north, started working and moving further north, and other countries, the people that were around me, it affects you. There's so many different dialects and so many different languages in Africa. Wow, it's amazing. So you learn one and you go to another country, it's French, and then it's Arabic, and it's, oh my gosh. So yeah, I lost my English accent, and you are working with those people and listening to them, you pick up it a lot. So I actually became South African accent by working and being with those people all the time. So yeah, definitely. I look at my videos from 26, 28. Wow, I sound very different. So now everyone says I sound South African, probably. Yeah. More African, absolutely. Definitely don't sound British. Very evolved. Yeah, it changed a lot. So did the tone of voice. It was very much more high-pitched. Hi! Hey, how are you? Happy New Year! Yes, wonderful to see you. Very happy New Year. See, you still got the most beautiful videos, and your sunsets, my God, I'm so glad you're still doing that. We were discussing the evolution of TikTok from this light worker, more Joe Dispenza consciousness, it was like the evolution network, positivity, consciousness, Buddhist content, light workers. Starseeds, it was the platform for that, the biggest social. It was the platform, actually awakening platform, and it's gone to the opposite. Yeah, we were talking about how negative it's become, and For You page, you don't find anything for you, anything that you want in your shopping basket. Yes. It was, wasn't it? It was such a beautiful, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I don't know what you're experiencing over there. Here, it was very manipulated content, very political, a lot of political content. Yeah, a lot of other stuff, a lot of propaganda and conspiracies and all kinds of other weird stuff. And everything you don't want to see, the people kind of content you wouldn't want to see is kind of shoved in your face. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. We were explaining why this is. I was explaining why. It's because they're trying to say, humans have a negative bias. No, not anymore. That's old story. And that was actually, it's negative programming maybe that you are pushing actually, but it's not. They don't. We're just saying with the light, increase of the light and the consciousness, the bodies are in duality. So that as the light has to, so is the darkness trying to balance it. So we will have an increase of darkness to that extent as the increase of the light. But also what you're going to be aware of, as I was saying, is that stuff are falling away. Because our frequencies will become so vastly apart, they really will not be, we will, as you're saying, the parallel relay, the trains are going further apart. Really they are. So what you will experience in the so-called reality, they will vanish. What I was trying to say to people is what you don't emotionally react to, follow, give it energy, believe, it will disappear from your reality, literally. Good, yeah. It has. I mean, stuff that when you first wake up, you have a lot of shadow and you believe a lot of shit and you have all this karmic, whatever. It depends. Whatever story, the body chose to surface and what programming is in there, nonsense. There's no such thing as time anyway, so it's all an illusion. But, say you're buying into David Icke or whatever story you're buying into in the New World Order, whatever story. Whatever you realize, oh, okay, I'm creating my reality and I don't choose that. That's not a good idea to believe any of that. That's not going to benefit me. And you really know that and drop it. When you drop any stuff, it disappears. When you stop really, and it'll take about 2 years, when you stop feeding it energy, emotionally reacting to it, believing it and listening to it, it vanishes. So there are already things that have completely vanished. I don't see any of it at all. Because you have now not given it energy or belief, and you haven't fed it for such a long time. It really disappears from your reality. So there are already stories and timelines and doomsday, blah, 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 that this one has not listened to at all, and it's completely disappeared. So those have already gone. But ones where you hadn't let go or you sort of still believe, you can see because it keeps popping up. So stop. It's only an appearance in you. There's no real world of people anyway. And then it will go. You'll see now, because if we stop following them and listening to all their rhetoric or nastiness, it's no them, it's just bodies that are programmed. And they're playing, it's the source playing the shadow, that's all. So there's still love. You just see them, it is that source. It's a body, it's believing whatever it's believing and leave it, and you love it. There's no attachment, there's no judgment, there's no blame, there's no anger, there's nothing. Guess what? You can just poof, off it goes. So leave them and let them drift off, and literally they will. Because, as I say, the extreme where you believe in the love and unity and it's not shared there, and the frequencies will become so not compatible that, as I say, difference, as Bashar says too, that they cannot exist. Literally, they will disappear from your experience. And that's all that we are seeing. You see, they're pairing up there, and they are still putting choices out there. Oh, do you want to play New World Order? No, thanks. Maybe not. But if it's still appearing in your reality, that means you believing it or consenting it or giving it power or believing it is and it's going to happen, you see. If something's still appearing in your reality, understand, you sure as hell believe that's going to happen. And it's true, or it wouldn't appear. When you realize it's not true at all, none of it is you giving the reality its truth and its definition in any reality. You're making it even real. I mean, it looks real to you. You're crystallizing it. You are giving it reality and truth. because reality it doesn't have any, it isn't to any non-dual, you see it yourself, any truth, you know there's no solidity, there's no reality, nothing has a meaning, there's no story at all. You absolutely create the story, the reality, everything, people in it. Oh, there's a real person. No, there's no people. There's only you here. These are all appearances. Joe Soap is no more real than the air. You see? So understand, whatever is still appearing in our realities, whether it's on media or wherever, it's because we are still, and maybe the resonance is coming past just to see if you're still resonating with it. Do you buy into it? Are you reacting? Do you believe it? Do you fear anything? Right. You got to do some more. So here they're coming through again, I think, to see if you will respond. And it's like, nah. You know, it's no more real than anything is, and it just doesn't have any reality to it. So you don't, and you understand why it's appearing, because we've chosen that. That's all. It's a choice as much as the light is a choice. You see, it's having, so you can experience and choose the opposite. You want to choose whichever. Sorry, I got to get comfortable. There we are. Anyway, it's fascinating, hey. Tired people. Anyway, I do miss the people. I do really miss the people. Beautiful, beautiful people I have met on here. Such lovely. I say we had such an amazing group of light workers. So powerful group of light. And we were really spreading a lot of light and love on this platform. Still trying to anyway. The body is still. Just, that's what I say. But understand, those bodies are programmed differently. It's just the body, there's no one in it. If they program to spread the opposite, then that's the program that body is running, and that's all. It's the same one. And it's a complete delusion. It's not a solid body. There's no solid anything in it exists. You too, Claire. Lots of love, darling. Lots of love. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Well, the body's battling. Yeah. So this, okay. See how you react to anything showing up in your reality. All right. And it's still, if there's still some charge there, it's because there's still things that haven't been cleared, or still a belief, or still fear, or something, you see. And when you've dropped all that, and it shows up, and there's nothing, completely disappear. So you don't believe it, fear, you know it's complete, you see. That's all. It's just stories, beliefs, resonance held by the one. In this an illusion anyway. It's all a complete illusion. Right. So don't choose to give it any power or energy or even hate or, judgment. It's just, as I'm saying, how can you, there's nothing to hate, that's the thing. Nothing's real. They literally are holographic appearances in you. This body, all of them, everything. It's the self. There's only one energy that exists. So you're just hating an appearance in you, that's all. Anyway, there we are. We are tired, people. So don't worry, I don't think they're going to ban this platform, but it would be nice if they can get back to a natural algorithm and a positive algorithm. That would be so nice. But anyway, if it doesn't, it doesn't. You see, you allow as they say, don't resist. And you allow what appears to appear. So you have to allow the dark to play its thing as well. So it has just as much right to appear as anything. Because it is a balance, it is a duality. So while the darkness is playing, let it play. Just don't buy into it. You don't have to give it attention, believe it, listen to it, anything. Just, that's it. It's just, okay, there we are, next. Treat it as though it's like a movie screen. Oh well, okay. You see. And then if it's something that you really, you see, how can I say that? If you don't want, then you believe, you have a fear. Release it. Don't give it truth or energy or even don't give it anger, don't give it hate, don't give it the opposite. See? There's nothing to hate in the first place. So just know that it's playing a role, and there we are. And neutral, no reaction, and it will vanish from your reality, literally. You will see it will just disappear, and you'll see, oh, what happened? It just materialized. You'll just realize one day that that whole story just no longer exists. It no longer appears in your reality. That's all that will happen. You see? Anyway, there's many. This is why the Lightworkers created New Earth. And that's why so many saw that, gave energy to that, visualized it, manifested it, because they are making it into a solid, so-called, crystallizing it into matter. So there will be another, that's why they are so-called, it looks like real, other versions of Earth. So you are able to shift into a new Earth, into a golden age, a golden thing, because that's been manifest. It's been crystallized by the consciousness into being, into matter. So they are definitely, we didn't spend all that time doing all that work for nothing. There's a lot of energy, work, visualization, manifestations, wow, timelines. We did lots of meditations onto New Earth, onto the golden thing, we've seen it, I mean, lots of it. A lot of us have seen these other Earths, versions of Earth into the future. Yeah. So they're definitely there. So you're just sifting and sorting through them. See? So everything you are experiencing in your life, so-called, the body's life, let's say, there's no your life. Everything that's appearing in the body's life out there, so-called. Not out there, but anyway. Let's say media, personal, actual life, country, whatever, everywhere. In your actual reality, you are sifting and sorting through what you believe, want, what stories, what kind of experiences that the body will want to participate. Doom and gloom, robot controlled, whatever version. I mean, from the highest to the lowest versions of frequencies, negative to positive. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You're mixing and matching, like making a little. Oh, we're going to have that. We're going to have a bit of negativity, and then we're going to have this beautiful golden age, or whatever. Or no, we're going to annihilate ourselves. Some people are dead on that one. They're like, no, planet's doomed. Okay, all right. But understand that is only one imagining that. There's no one that ever gets hurt because there's no real live people, bodies, real live anything. So sources experiencing all spectrums. And you, the bodies, individual appearances, are choosing which versions they're going to experience. Not you, the bodies. So the bodies are sifting through, let's see, which one we believe in. Yeah, I'm going to go for the doomed one. I'm going to go for the golden age or whatever. No, he's out to, whatever. That's all it is, one big illusion. And the stories are appearing for you to choose. If you know that, you won't get triggered by them. So it doesn't matter how many people appear, presidents, whoever you hate and like, so-called body hates and likes, it's just a program and a story too. Then you believe that they are real people and there's someone in them. They're not. All is perfect. It's a divine, like your dream. There's no one to blame. You wake up, there's no real people in it. No one was. It's all over the minute you open your eyes. The same is here. Okay. Work on seeing through the illusion. Work on stop. Yeah, that's up to you. Actually, there's lots of non-dual content to listen to. And you will start seeing through if you stop feeding the separate energy. Same thing. Like that also takes time to dissolve. If you stop feeding the belief that there's any separate people that exist, or a person or reality, there's only sources anyway, it will start to dissolve and you will start seeing through the illusion becomes transparent, and you'll see there's no people, real bodies, real anything. And then it's easier to not buy into what appears. Although, like everybody has programs, like I say, this one blows your mind when trauma still comes out. You're like, how much? 5 years of meditation and shadow work, how much trauma? Yeah, there was a lot. So the body had a lot in the so-called story, which is also a story, because it pops out and you're like, oh, for heaven, wow, all right. Yeah. So the body can still be reactive. Well, who knows? Yeah. But then if you know that, same thing. No, you don't get upset either way, because you understand the body, the poor body. Okay, the body had some real hectic experiences, so there was a very charged energy. All right, that's all it is. And you have sympathy for the body, and there we are. Anyway, okay. Sorry, people. This body is getting really tired now. It just wants to pass out. It's like, wow. I think, as I say, we got to get Christmas is over now. We got to get this information and everything down, because even that's swollen. It's very sore. The wrist is sore, and the body's tired, and it's like, wow. Thank you. Yeah, you too. I do miss everybody, I must admit. But as I say, when you're on this Nandi path, you also don't want to feed plain story too much. So you really realize, you don't want to feed the separate energy too much and play into it. So yeah, it's one of the reasons also why there's not been many lives. And as I say, because it's Christmas and the health and now we need to get back onto that. We're starting a meditation every day. I want to try and walk every day if the weather holds up, and really get the body back into health and shape, and get the insulin down, sugar down, and the inflammation down, and then everything starts, let's see, going fine again. The same with the cognitive issues. Oh, you're so welcome. There's no coincidence, of course not. You see, that's what I'm saying. I wanted to say this the other day when I saw the so-called activity on TikTok now under this privacy and security. I saw there was a activity center or something, whatever it was, activity log. And then I saw this watched history, and I was like, holy shit, no, you don't watch that. I haven't watched that. But it was on the For You page. I had to scroll through it. So whatever you've scrolled through is now coming as your watched history. No, you didn't watch it. You can't choose to skip it either. And that was a bit disturbing. I thought, that's not true. That's not real. Because then it's basically showing like your watched history. It's fabricated. It's not real, your watch history, you see. You cannot, everyone knows you have to scroll past things to get to the next video. So it's not watch history, selected watched history. And especially when it's completely manipulated. And none of it you want to see. You try and avoid it. Anyway, all right. So there we are. That's what I'm saying. That also could be to do with the past that happened. It's coming up in a different way to see. But anyway, there we are. Love you guys very much. And let's see what happens. This body didn't want to come on and talk about it, but then it just, you see, if it's going to do it, it's going to do it anyway. Not in the body. The body's meant to talk about this like it was. It showed up today then instead of yesterday. There we are. And why? You needed to hear it. It's one talking to itself. You are talking to you, but just in a different form. And so that body is appearing to look different to this body. But it's one talking to itself. Isn't it amazing? It's so sweet. So there we are. That's why the body was guided to talk today, because it didn't want to, actually. Anyway, we're back on the meditating, and we're back on the withdrawing all the energy and focus from the separate one, from this body, because there's no one in the body. We're not the body or the character. So we're drawing the attention away from whatever this body and character is doing. See? There we are. So that explains also why it's quiet. And as I say, at the moment, it's a little bit baguette from Christmas. All that sugar is like, oh. Yes, we are one. There's no waves. We're the ocean. These are inside the ocean. You are like a fish in the ocean. Not on top. There's no on top. Because there's no separate. So yeah, this is the ocean. And you're appearing as a fish in the ocean, the body. And this body's appearing, and everything it's appearing, everything it's seen is appearing inside the ocean. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, anyway. Very thirsty. Let me get some rest, people, and try and get this information out of the body, because it's the first time I've had this is sore, that even my wrists are swollen and my fingers and my knuckles. It's like having gout, and you're like, oh. I was like, okay, Christmas is over. Wow, let's get rid of all the carbohydrates and sugar and flush the body. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, we're not worried about the memory, because there's no non-dual. There is no story, no memory. It's an appearance now. There's nothing happened. No past, no present, no future. Anyway, I should say. You're so welcome. Yeah, it's going to, as I say. There we are. There, we get to set a strict routine. Yes, I haven't done for a long time, as I say, because of this non-dual path. So the body's being pushed to get really very strict about that again. So let's see. And then maybe. And as I say, the content on here, the platform is just, but I do love the people. And I do miss the people. Beautiful people on here. Lovely people. There was such a lot of light workers on here. A lot of them have navigated off because of the, negativity. But, so there we are. Don't believe any of the negativity that you hear. Humans have not got a negativity bias. That's not the case. And that was also pushed on them by the media, as I say, because I'm 60. I remember the newspapers. You never saw the bad news and the drama, and slowly it moved its way to the front pages. It was never, ever on the front page before the 80s and that, 70s. Probably, for the 80s. All right. So much love. All right. Just remember, everything that appears is on offer. Of a story. Nobody's real. No real people in them. No real bodies. Nothing's going to happen because there's no real people that get hurt. No real world. It's appearing as real and solid, but it is not. Okay. And it's just showing you, okay, do you choose this? See what it does to you. See how you react, and that's giving you an idea that you're believing in it or fearing it or buying into it, and then you can say, oh, okay, no. All right, then really stop watching it. Stay off it. Don't even then watch it. Don't say like this one. Just don't even go on TikTok then. And then let that energy subside, and that it builds up momentum. You need to get rid of the momentum and then release and clear. That is the truth. You don't want that story. You don't believe in it. It's not true. You don't choose it. And it will start disappearing from your reality. Okay. All right. Lots of love, people. Good night. Bye.